Gracias por tu tiempo esta mañana. Mi nombre es Michael Morton y mi español es muy malo. Entonces, la presentación en español, pero la presentar en inglés. Ok, so gracias. And you want to, I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen. Okay, can you see that? Jorge?
No, Mike.
Not
No?
yet.
No,
Not yet?
no,
Okay,
not yet.
let's try again.
Now
Sorry.
we can see it. Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, well, we are Surgex. We are a power protection company from the United States, and we have limited business so far in Latin America, but we have done business in the past. Currently, we have decided that we want to get into the country full bore, and with that, we have gotten involved with many of the different types of certifications that are required in Mexico especially, and we're working on other countries as well. But first, we are having all of our products will be NOM-certified probably by the end of this month, and we're open for taking orders. First of all, I would like to explain what Surgex is and what we are known for. First, we are a surge elimination company. We don't suppress a surge, we actually eliminate it. We're also a company that wants to make sure that we are non-sacrificial and we don't want to contaminate ground. We have been known for many years and have done a lot of business with the federal government because of these types of specifications that are very important to the microprocessing products that you might be dealing with today. The company that owns us is a large conglomerate by the name of Amatec. They purchased Surgex about 7 years ago. And as was said earlier, I have been with the company almost 20 years in total. And I saw this changeover, and it was very nice because we've had a lot of support now financially and with the research and development that we'll show you in some of the products later on. We have been partnered or merged with one of our sister companies by the name of PowerVar. PowerVar has a local presence in South America and has been for a number of years, as they are a UPS manufacturer and make all of the UPSs that Surgex will provide to you folks. They're a company that's heavily involved or heavily married in the medical industry. They provide online double conversion products, which is many times preferred in the IT and AV space. They also have another line of products, which are called Line Interactive, and there are products that are very important to the medical industry. But we'll deal with mainly the AV side. Basically, when you put these together, we're trying to give you a solution that's going to save you money and give your customers the type of satisfaction that they're looking for loyalty. We really attack three or several areas when it comes to power. Power is not just one particular type of issue. There are studies that have been done throughout the United States, and what they found is that 60% of all the power issues that are found are actually generated within your own building. 20% are generated from the company that share the same power transformer with you. Now, of course, this one is a graph that came from the United States, so it is a little different because it says the weather is about 15% and that the grid is about 5%. I think that would have to be greatly exaggerated, and we need to give a much larger percentage to the grid in the Latin American countries because it is taxed very heavily. That being the case, our whole direction or reason that we want to get into the business is because we want to eliminate electrical overstress. We actually work on what microprocessors, or how microprocessors impact or will work when they're being impacted by power anomalies. It's very important that you understand that microprocessors are very sensitive, and power irregularities can cause many problems within the system itself. Those types of things, we in the power of our world, or in the UPS world, we define as the 3Ds. It's destruction, which is where you actually have products that are being destroyed because of power, extreme power issues. Not as common, but they do happen. Degradation, where the products actually wear out quicker and don't last as long as perhaps the products that were there before, therefore causing you a lot of cost and a lot of dissatisfaction from your customer. And the third one, which is very impactful and very costly to the integrator, is disruption. Disruption is where you have common problems, and they're the most common problem in the industry, where products will actually experience lockups, reboot capabilities, and some data loss. That information is very, very difficult, obviously, to deal with. So, and the impact to your customer is significant. The cost, the impact can be service calls, cost of equipment, and of course, loyalty to the customer itself. So what kinds of power protection are in the industry? There's really only two types. On the left is our product called Advanced Series Mode Protection. Our products eliminate a surge. They do not suppress a surge. They are non-sacrificial, and we do not contaminate ground. Now, the competitive products that are in the industry, what you see on the right, are designed to do this. They're designed to actually sacrifice themselves, which is their method of being protective. Those products are self-sacrificial, as I mentioned. They only suppress a charge or a surge. What they do with the excess energy is they shunt it or send it to ground. Therefore, they contaminate the ground. The reason we don't get involved with the ground is because microprocessors always have to calibrate on each type of scenario that they would engage in a new process. So they always look to ground, which is the most stable environment, and it should have 0 voltage. If it's been contaminated with a surge that has been shunted or sent to ground, then you have issues with that particular type of calibration, which can cause things such, again, lockups and reboots. What is it? What is an MOV? Well, an MOV is a metal oxide resistor. It's basically a variable resistor. It's a resistor that has been around for a number of years. It's been around for about 70 years, or since the 70s, I should say. It actually is designed not to eliminate the surge. It's designed to suppress the surge. And of course, it is sacrificial, so it does have a problem. Now, in theory, it's not a bad solution. The problem is this particular product only costs about 5 cents to manufacture. With that being the case, you can imagine it's not exactly very accurate. And the reason that's important is the way it's designed. This is a basic circuit that you would see for protection. Now, this is a very basic and simple version, but you must have an MOV across the line and neutral and hot, and then hot and line. If one of these three, if all 3 of these blow at the same time, you will actually have no voltage coming through, which is good. And that's in theory, that works perfectly. Unfortunately, the way this works is, since it is not very accurate, this actually has a problem. Typically, one of the MOVs will blow and will leave one of the legs of the circuit open. to any kind of anomalies that might happen. So anything that would be on that circuit would now be susceptible to those types of power anomalies, and therefore can cause damage to your products. We use a very different type of solution. It's actually a solution that eliminates the surge. As you can see, the surge comes in and it passes through on a very clean output on your wave side. It actually eliminates, it is permanent, it's non-sacrificial, and we don't contaminate ground. The question is, how do we do that? We do that, it starts from this particular device, which is called the reactor. It's actually a patented design that is called advanced series mode. And it's a very simplistic design. It's actually comprised of two coils wound in opposite directions. As AC enters the top coil, it energizes and will go and energize the bottom coil. When that happens, as the surge comes in, it creates a magnetic couple. That magnetic couple will create an inverse surge and acts much like a set of noise-canceling headphones. And your output is completely clean and completely free of surge. We are the only company in the industry that allows zero let-through voltage. And that let-through voltage is harmful. It will cause a number of issues. So as you can see, this shows how we can actually eliminate the surge completely. It is permanent and non-sacrificial, and the reason we can say it's sacrificial is it's just a magnetic couple. It's nothing that causes any issue of any nature. And as far as no ground contamination, that's better explained in the next slide. This basically shows the differences in what our suppression does, or not our suppression, our elimination does, and a typical MOV, or what their surge suppression is. This is the total advanced series mode protection. As you can see, it starts with the reactor, which is the first where the incoming power comes in. It will come in and actually exit this area and go directly to the secondary portion. But if you'll notice, the ground wire goes directly to chassis and it's nowhere involved in the circuit. And again, the reason we don't want to be is we don't want to contaminate ground any more than it already is. When we go into this board with this series of rectifiers and capacitors, this area will eliminate any of the low residual let-through voltage that might have come through accidentally. So now we've eliminated in this reactor area all high frequency, and now we've eliminated all low frequency. At this point, we have zero let-through voltage. It then goes through the secondary area, which is called EMI RFI filtration, or noise filtering. We know that noise is a big problem that can cause a lot of problems as well. With that being the case, we try to filter anywhere from 20 hertz to as high as 20,000 hertz. That's about as far as we can go without actually interfering with data. So at that point, we've eliminated as much noise as absolutely possible. We then go into another area called inrush current protection, or ICE. This area is an area that will eliminate, or excuse me, not eliminate, minimize the amount of inrush of current when you turn devices on. Here's the example. If you have a PDU and you have several amplifiers plugged into that PDU, an amplifier may only run at, let's say, 5 amp when it's running. But when you turn it on, it can actually absorb as much as 20 amp of power when it first turns on, because it has to energize the capacitors within inside the amplifier. If you have multiple devices plugged into that PDU, that can cause a significant power draw and damage to devices that are plugged into that PDU. So what we do is we actually stage and stagger the inrush of that current so that it's well within the realm of the PDU's capabilities and actually makes it safe for all the devices that are plugged into that unit. Then we go into the final stage. The final stage is called coves. This is a very, very important stage that is going to be significant in the Latin American market. The reason for it is we're actually monitoring over and under voltage situations. Now, let me explain to make sure for those who might not understand. A surge and an overvoltage are very similar. It basically is where voltage rises and you have a phenomenon of that nature. The difference is time. A surge of voltage will rise dramatically, very quickly, to as much as 6,000 volts. Not always, but it can be that high. But it recovers in nanoseconds, so it goes up and comes down immediately. We can handle that problem, obviously, in our first stage. The second stage is a little different, or the second problem, called overvoltage, is a significant issue. It's because voltage will rise but sustain itself at that level for a period of milliseconds. Milliseconds in the world of electronics is like a year to us. And what happens is when you have that overvoltage or voltage that is too high for a period of time, it will cause heat in the power supply of the device that's using it. That power supply does not have the ability to eliminate or dissipate that heat to anywhere other than the board, the semiconductor board. And as we all know, semiconductors do not like heat. So when that heat rises, or if it's in the case of an undervoltage where it's down too low, the power supply is starving for power. Again, it generates heat in that power supply. That power supply can be damaged, but just as importantly, that heat can be transferred to the semiconductors on the board and cause damage to the board. So what we do is we monitor the circuit 24 hours, 7 days a week. As voltage rises to an unsafe level or lower to an unsafe level, we actually will shut the circuit down. I know that sounds bad. It's actually not bad in a sense that we will not recognize it 99% of the time. The reason I say that is because, as I mentioned before, power supplies, this happens in milliseconds. The devices that are plugged into it actually have capacitors built into them. Those capacitors will store energy, and when they recognize a dip in power, they will get rid of the energy and send it back into the circuit to get it over 2 or 3 cycles, which is more than enough to recover for the milliseconds that you're turned off. So therefore, we typically don't even recognize that there was a power disruption, but your devices are safe. So that's where we actually look at this as what we call the 360 degrees of power protection. One of the things I would want you to notice is these are called tags. The tags indicate what type of protection each one of our devices has on them. Not all of our devices have all of the protection based on the applications of the type of products, but the 360 degrees of protection is there. So here are the tags. First tags are what kind of protection do we deploy as it pertains to surge. We provide 2 different types of protection. In the United States, advanced series mode is very highly identified as the premier technology in the industry. That being the case, being the premier technology, it's great. We sell to a lot of high-end products that have a lot of devices that are out there that are very mission-critical type devices. Sometimes, because of the type of protection, that cost is a little higher as well. You can't always justify the higher cost in a rack that is much less expensive or a solution that is much less expensive. So we have another solution called multi-stage protection. Multi-stage protection utilizes different types of protection. It is too a suppression-like product, but the difference is we do not use MOVs. We use silicon avalanche diodes and gas tube rectifiers as the first stage as for energy absorption. So once we absorb that energy, we will actually at that point break it down into manageable sections and shunt to ground. So in this case, we will shunt to ground, but in safe increments. Multi-stage is typically a little more economical, and it's something that we can look at for many applications, depending upon the price requirements as well. The other type of protection is, as I mentioned before, EMI RFI, or noise protection. By the way, these subsequent tags that you will see, EMI RFI and COVES and ICE, are all exactly the same type of protection in either technology for surge. So it's the exact same for multi-stage and the exact same for advanced series mode. So there'll be no differences in those. But you will notice the tags are going to be indicative of what kind of protection each of the devices include. So here are the basic tags. We've incorporated those tags with different types of characteristics or benefits. The benefits that you might be looking for, whether it's IP controlled, or maybe we have some sequencing situations, things of that nature. We've taken the technologies, matched it with the benefits, then put them in form factors that best utilize for those particular applications, and we come up with our product line. Now, the product line is not a huge product line. We don't have thousands of SKUs. We only have about 60 to 70 different products, but we can handle most of the issues in the industry today. So that's one of the things I want to make sure everybody understands. We can do everything from branch circuits to actually diagnosing the circuits themselves. We can provide you power protection, and we can also provide you with a wide array of UPSs. Before I go on to the actual product lineup, are there any questions on the technology itself? I'll pause for a moment.
Si tienen preguntas, por favor, las pueden hacer ahorita para que Mae las responda sobre estos principios tecnológicos que él la estaba explicando tan interesantes sobre protección eléctrica, que a veces parece algo que diéramos por contado, pero que es una cuestión muy importante. Entonces, por favor, si tienen esa pregunta, la pueden hacer en este momento para que Mike la responda. Si no, entonces continuamos. Okay, Mike, I think we can continue. No questions so far.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. We can go on. I'm sorry, my granddaughter just joined us as well. I apologize.
Okay. No problem.
Okay. Now going on to the products themselves, here we're going to start with our top of the line product. It's called Access Elite. Access Elite is our intelligent PDU. It's a product that has full IP control for all 8 different outlets. It actually will will give you the ability of complete control, and you will have complete sequencing capabilities as well. When I say sequencing capabilities, let me give you an example. We have certain triggers that you can define, and those triggers might be things like heat in a rack, or perhaps auto ping, which is connectivity to the internet, or perhaps even some power anomalies. Those triggers will actually begin a sequence that you define. Sequences like, if you had auto ping, where you're looking at the internet, if you lose connectivity to the internet, that trigger can begin a sequence. The sequence might be, the first thing I want to do is turn off my DSP, then my amplifier, then my modem, then my router. Make sure I have connectivity again. And once I have connectivity, it will begin the sequence of turning on the router, then the modem, then the DSP or amplifier or whatever you have on the system. It will then continue to check for the internet connectivity and then proceed forward. It can do the same thing if you had an issue with power off. A lot of times I call that self-healing. If the power would go off, you could use a power on as an actual indicator or trigger to begin a sequence. So if the power just went off over the night and you did not have a UPS, when it came back on, it would actually recognize, okay, now I have power. I now have my trigger started, and it will begin my sequence. That sequence could be, for instance, it could be turning on routers and modems, or it could be rebooting switches, or it could be actually just turning on other devices. Again, those sequences are defined by you, the integrator, on what your specific applications would be. This is a big feature that we've incorporated into a new family of products that we have that's very prominent, and we will discuss here in a little bit. This product also has, if you'll notice on the right-hand side, it has contact closures. So I can have hardwire contact, and if I needed to run this to a control system of some nature, it can signal on, off for different ports or different outlets as well. The new version, because this product is being redesigned, it will not have an RS-232 in the future. But you will notice it has its own GUI, as it is IP controlled, and this is a full internet type product. The new version of this will not only be just a standard IP version, but it will also be an enterprise product as well that will allow you SSO, or single sign-on authentication, and it will also have LDAP for capabilities of that as well. We're also moving in the direction of all of our products to be 802.1x compatible, which is the highest level of security that most ITs are looking for today. You will notice on the bottom here, it has 4 different tags. Those tags indicate it has advanced series mode protection, surge elimination. It has EMI RFI noise protection, and over and under voltage protection, and then inrush current protection. This product comes in a 15 and 20 amp version, 120 volt. The next product is one of our most popular products in the market space. It is a dumb PDU. There is no IP control, but it does have contact closure. So if you wanted to hook it up to a control system or a switch, you could actually turn all 8 of these outlets on or off at one time. You can't control them individually. They're all on or all off. This is not one of your one of the romantic type products. It doesn't have pretty lights and digital displays and so on and so forth. It just has a simple single outlet on the front for technician and a simple on-off. This is so widely used in the United States because it does one thing and one thing very well. It just plain works. It has a full complement of power protection, and the price is very reasonable as well. It comes in a 15 and 20 amp version. Totally rack mountable. The next product is a product called sequencing. There's 2 versions. This one comes in a 1U and also a 2U. The 1U has 8 outlets. The 2U has 14 outlets. The product is completely covered with the entire product line of power protection. It comes in a 15 and 20 amp version as well. Or excuse me, I take that back. This is a totally 20 amp version. We actually can protect an individual circuit. Many times it's very difficult to get to an individual outlet to protect a device. That being the case, we could actually, and I'll give you an example, many times churches where you have outlets or power that's run to the ceiling, and perhaps there may not be an outlet, it may be a direct wire. In a case like that, it's very difficult to handle power protection for an individual product. What you could do is you could take where the main incoming box is, you could actually feed the larger system or the larger box that you see here. This has 4 20 amp circuits, so it has an 80 amp capability. You can feed 4 20 amp circuits into the device. It will run through 4 complete inrush circuit, or excuse me, advanced series mode reactors. It also has noise protection as well. You will have 4 20-amp circuits coming out of it, and now you'll have isolated circuits with complete protection. This is used very, very heavily in the video wall industry. It's also used very well in the lighting industry. Many customers are starting to isolate their lighting away from the audio or the video or even IT. This is a great solution for that situation. This product is always on. There is no remote connectivity to this device. The middle device that you see here is a single 20-amp circuit in and a single 20-amp circuit out. This one does have contact closure, so you can hardwire a switch or perhaps go to a processing device, some kind of a control system, to control the on-off as well from this location. And then we also have a 240 version. And the reason for that is many projectors, or some projectors, I should say, are coming out in the 240 version, and we want to be able to give you that capability as well. That's a single 20 amp in, 20 amp out at 240. These are all steel NEMA enclosures and completely approved. This is called our standalone product. The standalone product is a very simple product. It would remind you of a standard power strip. The difference is this is a steel enclosure. We call it the brick. And the reason for we call it the brick is because it's about as heavy as a brick and about as durable as a brick, and about the size too. It comes in 2 versions, 15 or 20 amp. The 15 version or 15 amp version comes in a 10 outlet or a 2 outlet. The 20 amp version comes in 2 versions, one connected or one non-connected. The connected version, both outlets are controlled not individually, but at the same time. So they're both on or both off. The protection in this particular type of brick is the advanced series mode protection or surge elimination, and also EMI RFI noise protection. We recommend this product highly, or every time we try to recommend this product with an UPS. UPSs, if you read the manual will always say you should use a UPS in series with an SPD device. The SPD device is an acronym for surge protection devices. UPSs have minimal, if any, protection at all. UPS manufacturers recognize that, and they know that they are susceptible to a surge. Just as important to protect the UPS is if you're protecting the UPS and you plug it into one of these type of devices, it will also protect any of the devices that are plugged into the UPS. So this is kind of a double duty, and it's a very simple unit. It can be used behind a rack, can be used, as I said before, with a UPS, or under the desk, or in any place where you might have mini racks as well. The next product is extremely positive, or extremely important, or extremely out there, used very commonly. Sorry, I got it out. This product is used behind video displays. I actually have a contract with NEC Sharp. If you were to order a NEC Sharp bundle with their video display, you would automatically receive either an SA82 or the next product that we will have coming up as well. These products are designed to protect your monitor. This particular product has our series mode protection, and also it does have noise protection as well. It comes in 2 versions. Now, one thing to be aware, this product is an 8 amp device. It's not 15 amp. It is an 8 amp device. This product, the 2 versions that it comes in are actually connected or non-connected. The connected version, they're both on or both off. We can't control them individually. The next device is actually our SX series, the SX 154 or 156. We recognize that not all customers or not all situations would be be able to use just a 2 outlet device. So we have a 4 outlet and a 6 outlet as well. Now this uses our multi-stage protection. The multi-stage is our surge suppression, but it does have the full complement of power protection as well. Noise protection, over under voltage protection, and inrush current protection. This product is used and designed in many different applications. It has ear tabs so that it can be mounted either on the wall or behind a video screen on a actual rack itself, or a display hanger. Now, this product is very common, very popular, and as I said before, it comes with the NEC NEC Sharp bundle as well. The other product we have, this is where we're starting to get into a more economical realm of product line. It's called the Defender series. This is our most simple rack-mounted device in the industry, or that we provide. This is our solution, if you will, to a lot of our other competitors that have a rack-mounted PDU. There is one big difference in our product and other products that are in the industry. Most rack-mounted devices, and I'm not going to say this to be negative on other products, it's just the way they're designed. The Mid-Atlantic 915, Triplite, Juice Goose, APC, most of the devices that are in the market space that are economical and inexpensive typically are devices that have no power protection. It's basically a power strip that you can put in the rack itself. This product, our product, is very similar. You could call it a power strip as well. The difference is it has power protection. It has our multi-stage power protection. It also has noise protection, and it has over and under voltage protection. It comes in a 15 or 20 amp offering, and it is very economical, extremely economical for your particular application. And it compares with the other products that are in the industry. Well, when I say compares, it compares price-wise. It does not compare in the event, because we actually do provide power protection to this particular product.
Mike, one
Yes.
question.
Uh-huh.
On multi-pack, we protect against the low voltage on that product?
Yes, it does. It is over voltage and under voltage.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now we're getting into a new family of product that is very significant to the market space. One of the things that we have recognized is the industry is changing significantly. The industry, at least in the United States, is becoming more of a services-based industry, meaning you need to have better access to these devices. And if we're going to be providing a service, we want to minimize service calls, and we also want to utilize the ability to have perhaps self-healing type situations. So we developed a product line called the Squid. The Squid was a derivative, or a combination of two of our products. One, the Access Elite that we talked about earlier, and another product that I haven't mentioned to you called the Envision. The Envision is a totally diagnostic product. It's a product that monitors and records data. It records a significant amount of data, about 3 months worth. It will take that data and it will give it back to you in the form of an Excel spreadsheet, so that you can read many of the metrics or the types of anomalies that are going on that particular circuit. It also has the ability to timestamp. So if you have a significant event like a power outage, it will actually record the date and time the power went off. When power comes back, it will also record the date and time the power came back. It'll do the same thing for over voltages, under voltages, power outages, sags, a number of different types of data. We took that diagnostic tool, and by the way, that tool is very useful for your folks in your installs. A lot of times when you have a new customer, or perhaps a customer that's having a lot of the same types of problems recurring over and over, you can take that particular product, the Envision, plug it into the wall or the circuit that's causing you issue, leave, come back in a week to 10 days, download the data, and then if you read the data, you can kind of get ideas then, are we having problems that are caused by power? And if so, you can address that with the customer. If you don't know how to read the data, that's where I come involved. You can send that data to me, and I will read it and provide back to you some analysis of what we might see. The Envision product also has some other diagnostics that can be helpful as well. But let's get back to Squid. The Squid product, as I said, was a derivative of the Envision and the Access Elite. We took the best of both worlds and put it together for a device that will give you AC and DC power distribution. The AC is pretty obvious. There's 4 AC outlets on the side. Those are IEC connectors. One thing to remember with the Squid product, we do not provide the output AC cords that are IECs. The reason being is we don't know the length of the cord that you really want. So make sure when you order the Squid, you order the length of IEC that you want as well. Your distributors will have those in stock. Okay, why does it have DC? Well, one of the things that Surgex is very recognized very heavily is the problem of wall warts or power adapters. Much like the power adapter you use for your phone, virtually anything that we have that goes behind a video wall especially, those adapters range anywhere from very small to very large. They're very inconvenient and they're very difficult to work with many times. They also provide or cause issue with when you plug it into a PDU, many times you lose some of the outlets because of the size. That is a problem. So what we decided is we came up with a product that gives you the ability of having a 12-volt output or a 24-volt output, or if in the event of a combo, you can go 12 and 24. What you can do is you can eliminate the adapter itself based on whatever voltage it might be and use one of these contact closures or Phoenix connectors to actually give you the ability of using bare wire. Now you've eliminated the big awkward adapter and you've gone to bare wire. Your cabling is clean and very easy to work with. These particular outlets give you substantial current. If you're dealing with all 12 or all 24, you're going to have a 5 amp output. If you're dealing with a combination, as you see here, each one of these will have 3 amp output. And this is 2 banks of 2 each. These are totally, fully IP addressable. The AC section, all 4 outlets, totally, fully IP addressable. The product also gives you a variety of other features. Number one, it's compatible domestic or internationally out of the box. It recognizes 120 volt. It recognizes 240 volt. All you need to do is go into the actual dashboard and change the meter scale to 240 or 120. There's no damage to the device. You just have to make sure you put it in the right calibration. It also gives you the ability of being enterprise compatible. It has single sign-on capabilities and also LDAP, and can be assigned a static IP if you wish it to as well. There are a number of things that this product can provide, including, as I said before, full power protection. So we're going to provide you diagnostics, monitoring, full IP control. It's going to have the ability to be enterprise compatible. It is 802.1x compatible as far as security, and this product also has sequencing and triggering capabilities. Remember, we talked about that when we discussed the Access Elite. Those are one of the features we brought over because we felt very, very important for this particular device, especially because this one can be used in so many different environments. We know that we would like to be able to give you the ability of being self-healing. The reason I say that is here's some of the typical applications. We designed it originally for the huddle space or conference room to go under the desk so that we can eliminate wires hanging or the problem of adapters because of gravity being pulled out that would fall out eventually and losing a good ground, which causes many, many of the problems. That was one of the aspects. But during COVID, when we were developing this product, we also recognized this fits perfectly in the Zoom room or the Teams rooms or whatever you want to call them, because they fit. It's very small. It's only 12 inches from ear tab to ear tab, the mounting tabs. It's 8 inches wide and less than 2 inches thick. It fits behind the monitor wall and has found a great home in that location. It has, of course, it has the ability to sequence. So if you have routers and modems and amplifiers, perhaps a DSP of some nature, or things like Apple Talk or Apple TV behind them, this is going to fit perfectly. One of the things I mentioned is, of course, you can be able to use it for auto ping. So that can be one of your triggers to create a sequence to obviously reboot things. But use this scenario or simple scenario. You have a customer that has a Zoom room. That Zoom room, he comes in at 8 o'clock in the morning and he's late. Maybe he had troubles with traffic, or his children got off to school late, or whatever it might be. He comes running into the room. He pushes the Zoom room button to try to get online, and it doesn't work. Maybe last night the power went off. Well, when the power goes off, many of the products don't come on automatically. You have to reboot them. The customer's in a panic. He's got to get online with his customer. The first thing he does is call you. Then you have the Chinese fire drill, as we call it, to try to go through the process of getting everything back online. He's late, he's upset, causes an issue. Let's think about using something like Squid. Customer comes in the morning, pushes the button, it comes on. Well, during the night when the power went off, that power on is a trigger to a sequence. That sequence would actually trigger the on. The sequence would begin turning the router on, the modem on, the amplifier, so on and so forth, and you're back online. So when he walks in the morning, pushes the button, it works. You can also have, as part of the sequence, is at the end, once it's successful, it can send you an email indicating this trigger was initiated and this was the sequence that it triggered. So, and then that was a successful sequence. You can also have that sent to the customer, or you can share that with the customer as well, so that he knows that you're actually helping him stay online, and it also helps that customer loyalty portion as well. So the Squid has turned out to be a very, very big product for us. In the United States, we're actually working with companies like Apple, Google, Chevron, to modify and re-innovate, if you will, all of their conference rooms. And in the case of Chevron, that's 5,000 conference rooms across the world. We've worked with individual customers, universities. I have one university myself I've worked with that they've retrofitted. It's an international university, retrofitted 500 classrooms or conference rooms with the Squid. We've even worked with individual manufacturers, like a cosmetics company. I worked with a cosmetic company specifically who actually has cosmetic advertisements all over the world in airports. 3x3 video displays or 2x2s or whatever it is. And sometimes if they have one of those particular monitors or one of those segments lock up and have to, because of impixelation, they have to find and source a local integrator to come in to do nothing more than reboot. So what they've done is they've used this product, since it is an IP product, and integrated it for all the different locations throughout the international world, and they can control all of these from their home office, which is in New York City. So those are just some of the basic applications that we've thought about many times. Now, this product, as I mentioned before, is actually the beginning of a family of products. Since we recognize the industry is changing, and is also IT and AV are becoming the same, we wanted to make sure that we're able to address all of our new products moving forward with some capabilities that are very important. And hopefully the particular applications or feature set that we have on the Squid will be important for products moving forward. Therefore, we started off with our new Defender series. The new Defender series Plus, we have in several different versions. We announced these in our at NOM this year, and they went over very, very well. The first is a rack-mounted Squid. There is this feature, or this particular product, has all of the features that we identified with Squid, with one difference. And the difference is this does not have DC output. We do have plans for next year of introducing to the marketplace a rack mount that is only DC. But for now, This product has full sequencing. It has full over and under voltage protection, as you can see the tags. It has noise protection and multi-stage. It has all of the power analytics and data collection that does the squid. It also has full complex sequencing and triggering capabilities as well. Each of the outlets are individually addressable, and each of them can be programmed individually to have different triggers and sequences for each individual outlet. As you can see in the top is our GUI, or this is the IP control. One of the things that you're going to recognize as you start using our products is all of the squid family all have the same type of dashboard. We want to make sure if you can use one, you can use them all. We're also going back and trying to go backward compatible with a lot of our products that we have available today that are IP addressable, and we're changing those GUIs as well to match. The second edition is the Access Elite Plus. This is where we're taking our existing Access Elite and we're upgrading it. We're upgrading it with all of the new communication protocols, and we're also adding 802.1x, but we're keeping all of the features that Access Elite currently provides today, because many of those features obviously are on the Squid product as well. This is for the mission critical products that are out there. These are the products that we would want to sell to our customers, that it's very, very important. We have absolutely no possibility of surge leaking through, and we want to eliminate those kinds of issues and also have lifetime warranty on this particular product. We'll talk about our warranties in a minute. Digital display pack. We are expecting this to be one of the most significant products we've introduced in many years. This particular product is very small and designed specifically for the video wall. It comes in 2 or 4 outlet configuration. As you'll notice, the configurations on the device itself are horizontal and also vertical. Again, we want to make sure that we are wallboard friendly or adapter friendly and give you the ability to utilize all of the outlets that you buy. It's got the full complement of power protection, noise protection, multi-stage protection, and over and under voltage protection. This product has all the sequencing capabilities, has all the analytics as well for the diagnostics and monitoring. This is IP enabled for each of the 2 or 4 outlets individually. This is great when you have a situation where you have an IP drop, but in the event you do not have an IP drop, this product is also Wi-Fi capable as well. This product was designed specifically for the residential market initially. And the reason for that is because we had many of the Wattbox users that are in the industry want to replace the actual Wattbox itself with something that is a little more reliable and something that is more functional and has more feature set. But they also want to work with Oversee, which is the software package that Wattbox utilizes. This product does all of those things. It gives you all of the features that Wattbox has, and then all of the features that we have in Squid and Squid alone. It is Oversee compatible as well. The next product is our vertical rack series. As I mentioned before, we recognize very heavily that the IT environment and the AV environment are becoming one. That being the case, we identified this as a big need in the industry. It's a 8, 16, or 24 output video rack strip or IT rack strip that can be used in virtually all racks. It's a PDU only. It does not have power protection. It's to be used with a UPS or with a standalone that we talked about earlier. This particular product is a very, very significant product for us. It's the first time we've gotten into this kind of marketplace, but we wanted to make sure that it was very unique. It is IP enabled. Each of the individual outputs can be used. It also has power analytics and monitoring, just like the Squid. It has sequencing and triggering capabilities, and it mounts on virtually any DIN rail as well. This product, you're going to notice the outlets are all vertical. We wanted to make them bulwark friendly, but we also spaced every 4 outlets apart from each other so that it would actually be able to be utilized in any environment as well. So that is the end of our hardware, the new hardware that we've actually included, but we actually have another piece of product called, and I'm not sure if I have it here, I guess I don't, it's called Surgex Connect. Surgex Connect is a software package that we have that is actually going to enable you to monitor all of the power of our UPSs that we would sell that would have the ISO, it's called the ISO Lite SNMP card. That card will allow you to communicate with our Surgex Connect, which is a cloud-based device. And that device, or that cloud base, will also not only communicate with the UPSs, but it will communicate with all of the Squid family as well. We want to give you the ability to go into the actual device and reprogram it if you wish to that level, or simply reboot it and monitor all of the locations. It will also monitor all of the UPSs and give you a lot of basic information, like is it online or offline? Is it running? Is it currently operating device because the power is off? And it will also give you things that you don't normally get, like what is the load? How much current is being utilized by the devices that are plugged into it? And therefore, based on that load, how much uptime would it have if the power went away? Very important bits of information to have. It will also give you another one, which is what is the life expectancy or the health of your battery that's in the UPS. There's nothing worse than a customer calling and asking you, why didn't the UPS come on when the power went off? Most of the time, the first question we ask is, when was the last time you checked your battery? Many customers don't realize or don't remember or don't bother to try and monitor their own battery. So in a situation like that, you could monitor, or the customer can monitor their own, because the software is free. When you buy a UPS from some Surgex, or if you buy a Squid type product as well, it comes with the free package. So there's no additional charge for that particular package. So that's the Surgex Connect. Very, very important. It's actually an overseas replacement. It's our overseas replacement. It actually will only monitor our UPSs, and it will monitor only our Squid devices. It does not monitor the competitive products that are out there. We may be coming out with a product in the future that is more enterprise available, but for now, that's not out there. And this one, of course, is a free package. As I mentioned before, we sell UPSs as well. We will actually be able to provide you product anywhere from 240 VA up to 40 kVA. So we have a wide variety of products. Rack-mounted devices, I can provide you anything from a 700 watt to a 6 kVA device. These devices, those rack-mounted devices, would be what's called our online double conversion products. Those are the preferred IT or AV products, because those products have built into them internal voltage regulators and internal frequency regulators. Very important to be able to have perfect 120 volt voltage coming out, and also perfect 60 cycle. Excuse me for one moment. I have to clear my voice here. Sorry, I apologize. We also have the second line of product, or a second topology type of technology, called Line Interactive, or LISO. That is a technology where it is an AC pass-through. AC passes directly through the device and onto the device that it's plugged into. If power goes away, it will switch to the battery at about 7 microseconds. And that's the type of technology that you're seeing typically in the South American market space. The only difference between this and the products that you're seeing in your market space, this particular device, the LISO series, are equipped with isolation transformers built into them. So they will give you neutral to ground control, and they will also give you power conditioning and surge protection. So these particular devices are very important in those particular applications. The the OL series, which has voltage regulation and frequency regulation, are for a different market space. One thing I will recommend, or I will tell you about both. The OL series, since it runs on the battery 100% of the time, it generates heat. Therefore, the fan runs 100% of the time. The LISO series, or the LI ISO series, actually has an isolation transformer. It generates heat. The fan runs in it about 80% of the time. Those fans run at about 55 dB. They're very noisy. Do not install them in an environment where you have a conference room or a small conference room or room, if you will, that you're going to be exposed to that 55 dB of sound, because it is very loud. The Li2 is a solution to that problem. If you have a conference room or you have an environment that has a low power requirement, but you need it to be silent, this particular product would be the one you would work with. It's a line interactive product. It does not have an isolation transformer. It is equipped with our advanced series mode protection, so you have surge elimination. The fan will not come on this product anytime unless the power goes off, and then it's running on battery. At that point, the fan has to come on, which would be the same in any product. So that's the product lineup for the UPSs. One thing I will suggest is I have worked for PowerVar. I have worked for Surgex both. I have had experience in the UPS world, and there are many things in the UPS world that many times we don't understand or we're not familiar with. For one thing, sizing UPSs can always be a challenge. That's where I would suggest to either get a hold of Jorge or myself, and we're happy to help you with sizing a UPS. We're also happy to help you with the topology type that you might need, and perhaps the kind of configuration that you might need to go with the UPS itself. So please feel free to contact us. The last part, or the last slide, addresses our what we're known for. Any of our products that have ASM or SM, which is our advanced series mode protection, any of the products that have those tags are lifetime warranted. And that is lifetime. That's a long time. The other product we have, which is the multi-stage product, it has a 5-year product warranty. As you can see, that's a replacement warranty. That's not a product that is self-sacrificial. So keep that in mind. We want to make sure that you understand that is something that we need to be able to provide to you. Okay. With that being the case, that ends our presentation. It's very important that you realize we are here to stay. We are NOM-certified for those of you that are in Mexico. We do have lifetime warranties. We've been working with current customers and solving the issues that are out there. One thing I will say is the voltage regulator that is highly used in Mexico at this point is not the only solution. It is a solution, but it's only part of a solution. What we try to provide to you is a complete solution, because there's nothing worse than having to replace products or having a customer call you that's angry. With that said, I'd like to say thank you. That's the end of my presentation, and now we're open for questions.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for the good presentation. We have some questions. Jorge, muchas gracias a todos por estar presente. Mike, gracias por la presentación. Tenemos algunas preguntas. Jorge, ¿tú quieres leer las preguntas para que Mike las conteste?
Sí, las puedo ir leyendo y Mike las contesta.
Vale, ahí están en Q&A.
I have not, hang on, I can't see the chat. There's a chat, okay. Okay. We have all of our reference information is online. we're developing a Spanish version of our website, and most of my collaterals have already been converted into Spanish. You can get those from Jorge or myself, and that way you can have all of the information and all the technical information written as well that you can share with your customers in Spanish.
Sí, estamos trabajando en un website y en información en español. Sí, y bueno, estamos para servirles Mike y yo.
Perfecto, Jorge. Ahí hay una pregunta de Javier Gómez, por si quisieras traducirla para Mike. ¿Sí la estás viendo?
I'm just trying to read through some of these as well myself.
Perdón, es que no estoy viendo yo, no vi
Okay. In Q&A, Javier Gomez is asking Mike are there any protection to connect to the board? That's what I understand.
Sí, mira, nosotros estamos para servirles. Una vez se decida, se haga la adquisición, o sea, la verdad es que nosotros en 24 horas generamos el link para toda la reactivación y podemos ponernos de acuerdo para asignar un día que los apoye Brian también, ¿verdad?
Okay, Jorge está respondiendo a esta pregunta de Javier Gómez Moreno, que pregunta si existen protectores para conectar al tablero.
Yeah. I saw the question from Javier, and I think if I understand it, reading it, I believe he's asking if once the voltage is turned off for an over or under voltage situation, was the power allowed to pass again? Yes, it is.
Correcto.
Did I read that correctly?
Estamos para apoyarlos al 100%, correcto, muchas gracias.
Sí, ok. Jorge, ¿está bien la pregunta de Javier Gómez Moreno? ¿El multipack u otro equipo se desconecta en sobre y bajo voltaje y cuando se normaliza se activa otra vez el paso de energía?
Sí, mira, sí se desconectan, pero los puedes configurar y programar, ¿sí? Para subir las tensiones.
No, the multi-pack is not programmable. It's actually set at 145 volt for over voltage, and I think 80 or 90 volt on the under voltage. I believe those are the exact things. Those ones are not programmable. The multi-pack is not like a squid. It has the same type of technology, but unlike the squid, it cannot be changed.
Ok, dice Mike que no, que el multipack no es programable, que hay otras tecnologías tiene otras tecnologías de Surgex, pero que no es programable. Mike, but when it occurs a surge, an electric surge, and it disconnect, be it low voltage or high voltage, it connects against automatically.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That's what I said earlier. Absolutely.
Yeah, Mike, but one thing I believe when you're configuring, you can set it up to the highest level or lowest level, huh?
But the Defender series on the multi-pack doesn't have the IP configuration.
Okay.
So you don't have the ability to change that. That's already a preset. And multi-pack is the only one that you cannot do that with. It's preset.
Comenta Mike que en el multipack ya está preconfigurado, porque es el único que no se puede entrar a cambiar la configuración, pero tenemos el estándar para que se apague, pero cuando sí toque un voltaje muy alto, ¿verdad? O si se calienta a cierta temperatura o cosas así. Pero también está hecho para que se restablezca de inmediatamente, ¿verdad?
It's much like the Envision product. It is designed to protect, but it does collect data, and you can retrieve the data, but it's a hard connection between that device and your laptop. It's not IP.
Sí, en el multipack no es no se configura vía IP, ¿verdad? Pero bueno, es un producto que pues hemos vendido por muchos años y nos ha dado mucho resultado y le ha ayudado mucho a los integradores a proteger sus equipos.
For the future, to keep that in mind, the one thing that would give him that capability of being able to change is the digital display pack. That would be the new one. Then you will have full programming capabilities.
Sí, el nuevo display pack digital sí va a tener esas capacidades para poderse programar vía IP.
Ok, perfecto. Creo que son, I think Mike, that was the last, I mean, the question he had. Javier had 3 questions, and I think they are all solved so far. Bueno, no, a la gente que está conectada y a otra gente que se registró, pero no se pudo conectar, porque teníamos muchos más registrados de las personas que llegaron, les vamos a hacer llegar un correo agradeciéndoles por haberse registrado, por estar presentes en el webinar. Les vamos a mandar la presentación que incluye el video y todos los slides que Mike presentó. Creo que es todo. Jorge, creo que tú vas a estar en Integratec Colombia, me habías dicho, por si la gente quiere establecer una cita contigo, César Augusto o alguna otra persona, para
Encantado.
que nos deje saber sobre el tema.
Sí, puse ahí mi email, lo pongo de nuevo para que se pongan en contacto conmigo. Encantado de poder hacer una cita allá en Bogotá. Puede ser el día de la exposición o algún otro día, 24, 25, 26 o 27. O si están en Medellín, lo que es el 30, 31 o 1 de noviembre.
Ok, vale, muchas gracias Jorge. Gracias Mike por el gran webinar, sabes mucho del tema, excelente presentación. Entonces bueno, ya esperamos ya saben que las personas y las empresas que sean asociadas, afiliadas a Consorcio de los Integradores, tienen unos reembolsos por la compra de los productos de Surgex. Vamos a estar apoyándolos a ellos con marketing, con cosas, posiblemente otro webinar el próximo año sobre otros temas. Es un tema muy interesante que de pronto la gente no pone mucho cuidado y que lo toma pues por descontado, pero el tema de la protección contra picos de energía es muy, muy, muy importante para que los equipos funcionen bien y para evitar reclamos de los usuarios finales. Entonces, bueno, eso es todo. Muchas gracias. Mike, thank you so much. You want some goodbye words to the audience?
No, thank you. Gracias por todo y que tengan un lindo día.
Gracias a todos,
Gracias.
que estén muy bien y excelente fin de semana.
Gracias, Jorge, Mike, Fabio, que estén bien todos. Hasta luego. Gracias por conectarse.